All right, yeah, I kind of had to give, do a promo. So the music intro thingy, because I was a bit busy posting and juggling everything. So this time around, we got an intro. It is what it is, I guess. Let's dive into things with no further ado, because I'm a bit late. I'm so sorry, and to jiggle and juggle a bunch of stuff. But now let's get into this. I guess we're gonna first do our usual stuff. I guess we're gonna first go over the S&P, see how things changed, if at all, or what is the recent price action, how it looks like further on from now. And of course, we're going to look at the usual suspects, especially today with Palantir coming out with the results and completely, well, exploding out of the water. I mean, I'm just going to make this a little bit more digestible, I guess, if I can. Let's just make it so. Alrighty, cool. I think I just went too far. Okay, let's just go with this chart. This chart will do just fine for us. Perfect, just what we need. So we're gonna go with this one as well. Hello to everybody. By the way, since I didn't say yet, I'm so sorry. Hello to everybody from Mira Midwest Johnny. Hello, Leo Rafael Riviera. Hello, that's an awesome name, sir. I don't think I've seen nor I remember you. Midwest Cannabis, Leo Bedwars Gang, of course, Midwest, and Stonks and Mircha. Hello to everybody. Hello, how are you? Hope you're having a interesting, at least, beginning of the week. Let's get into things. So let's get in. Let's do our first of all our normal sort of routine. Let's go over the S&P. Really, what have we seen throughout the day? Nothing all that insane. As you see, we're kind of moving within the very same range, right? I think I shouldn't have skipped the 1 minute right away, not so fast. So today we really didn't do anything all that crazy. You can see right here, right? That's kind of today's price action. We just kept on rolling sideways from here, from the third into the fourth, and you can kind of see we didn't really do anything. So, I mean, those of you who get upset at me for saying a nothing burger, I mean, it is a nothing burger. But while being a nothing burger, that nothing burger actually completed the gap that we have left right here between the 31st and the 3rd. So we are kind of gapless right now, if you will, at least on the upper side. We have nothing above us. All the gaps that we have us are below us right now. The momentum, actually, before I just skip over and gloss over this real quick, it does appear to be bullish within the confines of the momentum and the structure as is. We can easily argue that 6042, 6040, both of them kind of make sense. So all that bullish momentum might work its way towards that 6,400 and 40, sorry, 41. So again, nothing all that crazy. What does the 5-minute tell us? 5-minute is rather bearish within the confines of this channel. It's not going to be all that surprising, even if we're going to hit the upper deck right here at 6040-ish and then drop back down to 624. So within the confines of this channel doesn't mean all that much to us. If we do zoom out, we do start to identify something a little bit more interesting, that we're having a longer procession sort of trend that's going on, and it appears to be a lot more bearish than bullish. You can kind of see, of course, with horrible slippage. And yeah, it is what it is, but it appears to be a lot more bearish. As you can see, the slippage that spillover that we're having is a lot more sensitive and a lot stronger to the downside rather than to the upside. So it appears to be, again, a downtrend with a lot more slippage to the downside. Not all that surprising. In fact, kind of works really well in line with what we're seeing the price action been doing, and more so, it appears to be more bearish within the context of the 5 minutes on a longer time frame. So it's not going to be all that surprising if it might drag a little lower to that bottom, maybe before slipping over to the median, or maybe we'll still test the top end, the upper side of things, which currently this trajectory roughly means 6,077. Again, that can take, as you can see, tomorrow-ish, and might take even longer, but then it sort of does decrease the range, but then it gives us slippage. And so if we do slip out here on that trend channel, it's not going to be nothing all that abnormal. That is that. If we go to 30 minutes, what we realize and zoom in, that we really have been testing the median of this current downwards channel, right? The I would argue just to be sure, I'm not gonna say, yeah, the longer duration one, yes, absolutely. The shorter duration is the one basically we're going right here. This is the blue and the red one. You see red and blue. So this is the short duration one, and longer duration is the upwards trend, which is sort of coming to an end, have been coming to an end some time now, just kind of flattening a little bit. Now we see what we're being pushed to. As you guys heard me say this before, probably a billion times in this stage, since we do have the 6100 on the screen. So I'm going to point out that what we're getting here, and I kind of said that's probably what's going to happen, is the market will end up being pushed into this wedge. Surprise, surprise, so far we're kind of doing it, right? We're moving along the channel, and far more probable to retest this ceiling, I would argue, at least one more time before breaking downwards, right? Like that, not the way I drew it right here. I just kind of exaggerated, got carried away right there. So in fact, I think at least one more retest. So yeah, we'll have to probably wait another downwards trend to 59.36, and then another retest to 6,100, 6,100. I just call it that. What else? What else do we see on the 45 minutes? Is it really all that different than the 30 minutes? Since we said the 30 minutes is a lot more bearish, bullish right now, right? It's, well, at face value, it's becoming bearish. Basically, we're having the convergence of the forces. In fact, we see that we broke down below the 80 range, and so we're starting to move downwards, and now a retest right before we continue another convergence divergence to the downside, pulling us downwards, giving it bullish momentum, giving it a pull to the downside. And so that's pretty much what we're expecting to see, which gives us, at least like we said, that wedge that we're formulating out of this longer duration channel that is coming from below, and this upper resistance that we're having with 6100. So basically this, right? Just to maybe keep it cleaner so you guys can see what I mean. As we were saying, basically, right? This wedge, this thing. Okay. And that appears to be what we're filling in right now. In terms of momentum, yes, it feels it falls right perfectly with the expectation, giving it downwards pressure, retesting that 59, retesting 59.11, just kind of 59.10 maybe, give or take the vicinity, and then retesting upwards again to 6100, as we said. Continuing to 45 minutes, do we see confirmation of that very move? Well, that's a bit sketchy. We're bullish again. We're bullish on bullish on the top side, so we do have some upside on this, easily giving us another attempt at the higher trend, or maybe, since I know it's harder to see, but you see we have here another channel that is it's kind of less steep, or more steep, sorry, to the downside, less flat, and it will not going to be all that weird if we're going to end up testing it, not really testing the higher channel here, because again, only 45 minutes, not that strong of a force or time frame, if you will, in terms of allowing us to see that far. Again, very same thing, seeing bullish momentum right here on the hourly, confirms this movement back to the upside, 6100. So we do see penetration over this channel that we just saw a second ago, and actually continuation to 6100, giving us retest of it again. You kind of see how the narrative is playing out to look like that's exactly what the market is going to do. We're basically going to go, everything we're doing right now, it's towards the retest of the 6100, basically. And yeah, that's what we're working towards. Let's see, what do we have in terms of momentum right here? Upwards momentum on a, well, on a bottom, so we're kind of flipping over. If we're going to drag it out to 50 here, I can easily see a completion to that 6100, as we said. Not 51, 6100, pardon me. Which will, in essence, will be part of the same bunch up. It doesn't mean the market will not drop and go up. No, that is not the very same move. It's a separate shorter move, and we do forecast a longer duration one to retest the market, to retest that wedge again. Basically, we're going to have a one test, second test, that whole dynamic within the vicinity, and then third test somewhere there. So it's not going to be just what we're having right now, and the completion of that will not allow us to have basically a completion of the wedge. In fact, more so if we're attentive to the momentum right here on the daily, it's far more bearish than bullish, and this is not bullish, this is more bearish objectively. We're just a centimeter away or an inch away from penetrating the 50 and so becoming truly bearish, which implies the idea of the momentum reverting back down, retesting that support. So we're kind of seeing the narrative playing out as we progress through the time frames. Next level, hold on, bear with me. We're not yet starting tickers. You're going to have to wait. Hold on, boys and girls, tickers not yet. We're now kind of more so going over the SPX. Then we're gonna have to touch upon Palantir, and we'll see how great I feel at that stage, because those of you who don't know, I had some dental issues yesterday and I'm kinda still struggling, not gonna lie, plus I'm very tired from the whole ordeal. But yeah, that's not important for now. What we are seeing is basically a flattening of the price action, and again, we're moving towards what we said, that it looks like a wedge formation, which appears to be, if the price action cannot reach higher to match that level right there, we're actually seeing that the market is showing a slow deterioration of the price action, basically how we went from moving upwards to sideways and a potentially downwards move, not being able to even retest previous highs. That is that. And yeah, I mean, the moment we kind of said that the bearish momentum is all what next level. Just bear with me. Bear with me, right? I'm struggling. Not gonna lie, I didn't have an easy day yesterday, so bear with me. So yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing. Look at the monthly. The monthly is the most indicative thing that we've been talking about, how we're going to see slowly the deterioration of the forces. The K and the D basically pointing to the downside and slowly making their way below the 80, penetrating it, giving us, I would argue, more or less this sort of flat price action before it truly moves beyond the 50 and give us really bearish price action. Of course, retesting 5700 on our way, and then we'll talk about it. Right now, our nearest target is in the vicinity of 5700 or the 5700 handle, if you will. The 3 months is still not indicative, have not yet reverted, but we're seeing it definitely struggle around the 80 on the stochastic RSI, which is very indicative of a slowdown of the bullish momentum. Coincidentally, we're talking here about that 6100, or maybe more so if you're attentive now, we have this negative wedge that's potentially going to get filled in as we're going to retest before we break down. It doesn't have to be exactly this shape or form. I'm just kind of giving you the a rough idea of what it might be. Another thing that is also quite indicative, I would argue, that the 6 months here is going to readjust. First of all, is if we're going to print all that bearish momentum that we've seen in the medium time frames. Basically, once it does print, it will appear, well, once it does happen, it will print right here on the 6 months, and so it will appear that we're breaking below the 50 range and actually breaking downwards. Okay, so of course it will take some time, since we still have 4 months to go, and this very same candlestick will probably be the very candlestick that brings us lower below and sort of corrects this current structure. The very same reasoning goes for our yearly, because they're very fresh, very new. Basically, we're just several days into our 2nd month, and so they have not yet readjusted, not yet reformed based upon the bearish momentum that will print through the smaller time frames shortly. And when it does, then we'll be more objective about the formation of the not momentum, really, it's more of how the momentum works within the context of the cycle, if you will. That's a very rough explanation normally, yeah, but you get the idea, I hope. What else? That's it, I guess. That is it with the S&P. Not much to report other than, I guess, my analysis brings me to see that how we're going to be retesting that wedge. Basically, that's the bottom line. So a lot of nausea and not much out of this. In my assessment, is going to retest again this whole bunch up. I need to stop using this horrible color, or at least use something more transparent. Let's do something blue like that, and something more transparent like so. Now that was weird. Okay, but let's use this anyway. So what we're seeing here is, like I said, basically a wedge that is being formed out of this resistance and a diagonal trend that is along during we have been that was part of the actual trend that made us break was slightly wider, but you get the idea. The very same sort of force that we've been moving within for quite a long time, as you can see down here. We're now in 2024, right? And you can see we now then sort of started riding or landed on top of this channel, as you can see right here around March 2023. Around, of course, you could debate whether it was that, or of course the channel has slightly readjusted. I would argue there's a secondary diagonal there. Those who know advanced technology. In fact, by the way, a quick shout out before I forget, I do have 2 spots right now for New Academy students. Those who do not have the founder's badge, the price soon will be brought higher. I am so sorry. I was warning about this for a very long time, and it's not that the price will be brought higher; it's rather that it's going to be normalized. It's just the fact of the matter that they had a very heavy discount for a very, 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 very long time, and I tried to put even more discounts on top of that, so the price may go higher sooner. Don't miss out. I currently have only 2 spots available for my one-on-one technical analysis academy, in which I teach all of that, why and how, and a lot more in-depth knowledge that I don't even talk about in the lives, simply because it will require many sessions for me to convey, teach, and show. And it's very serious stuff. You can ask the students here. It does require your full, attention and I guess wanting to succeed and understand technical analysis properly. Right, which, by the way, again, a quick reminder, these tools are great alike for traders, investors, again, depending on how you use the jargon, but you get the idea. For people who hold positions for very long term, for years on end, we're talking about decades and onwards. Technical analysis is a necessary tool because it's basically the ability to measure the market, and you don't have to be a trader to use that, and you want to be aware of the market cycles, understand how they work, what's the reasoning, when, what, a lot of good stuff that investors need to know as well. In fact, I would argue somewhat that in the hands of the proper investor, these tools, first of all, of course, fundamental and necessary, but without them, you're basically almost like trying to drive a car without wheels. Okay, it's not something, even if you have the best car with the best engine, if you have no wheels, not knowing technicals would be roughly like that. Or as Tom Nash himself once equated, it's like leg day. Technical analysis is leg day. It's hard. It's hard as hell, right? But you better do it, because if you don't want to have chicken legs, right, in the comparison to a gigantic bulky top half of your body, right? In fact, it's necessary, otherwise you'll simply be weak. No one likes it, but it's necessary. That is leg day, basically. TA is leg day. And people who say TA doesn't work or TA is like rain dancing, those are basically the flat earthers of the finance sphere, right? They're basically the people who, if it's like, if I don't understand everything about how gravity works or physics, does that mean gravity does not apply to me? Well, that's not how things work, right? If I don't understand technical analysis, the person doesn't understand it. It's their problem, rather than it's this thing is not true or something of that sort. This is just ridiculous. People who say technical analysis works only in a vacuum, in fact, I would argue that it works only not in a vacuum. It has to consider all conditions and variables that are part of this. In fact, the whole entire technical analysis or the whole charting thing is structured upon these very events. And this is just a visual representation of that very same thing, or these very forces. Okay, now done with the plugs, let's go to the chat and see some tickers. I remember I saw their QBTS by Next Level. QBTS, no problem. Next Level, let's do well, actually, no, I forgot. No, I haven't done Palantir yet. Apologies, pardon me. I almost done that big mistake. Okay. So the shtick here is ignore this orange one. Actually, I kind of moved it, but yeah, not to interfere. But the idea here that, yeah, we did not expect the price action to go that high regardless. We did kind of see some potential of this happening throughout basically just at the end of 2024. We saw how if the market will follow that very same channel, the top channel right here, as you can tell, it would have ended up potentially on the top side of it, right? Kind of reaching continuing that channel and if having a different procession, making its way so close that with some momentum might as well could have slipped out, but well, we didn't make it. And now we ended up moving into the new year, 2025. As you can see, the market started correcting. And so instead of having a very distinct trend to the upside, now we're starting to flatten out. But the reason for this could be simply because we're moving to the downside of this very wide channel right here, as you can see on the daily. But as you can see also, it's becoming very tired. It's getting to the point where it's very tired and about to run out of momentum. And normally, by the way, I would emphasize here, for example, we're seeing bullish momentum. Don't forget below the 50 is still bearish. And more so, I'll remind you that normally the price action does behave this way. Basically, we have interference, a process that normally happens before we truly go into oversold conditions and then remain there for a while. I would argue that we haven't really made it there. So, of course, we're not going to be jumping out of it yet. We're just kind of testing the bottom. We'll see if the price action will continue or deteriorate as it's going, and what we're seeing on the S&P is very indicative. Of course it is. Palantir is, and by the way, just to be clear, those who are gonna, Greg, you're a hater of Palantir. I was bullish on Palantir before half of you were even a part of the stock market altogether, nor even considered it, okay? I was also the only bull around during the bottom of the, the thing that we had, right? You can ask Tom Nash. It was the only two bulls around were me and Tom Lee. And it's not really too difficult with Tom Lee because he's default, bullish pretty much, right? I was able to identify the bottom, and then I was the only pretty much dude around for months on end saying we're going to go bullish and have a crazy rally in 2024. I did predict the top to be lower than what we ended up having, but just to remind you, all these people who are like, I'm a perma bull or a hater of Palantir or that, to those people I have one simple thing: get the fuck out of my channel and fuck off. Now, just those who are not up to speed, we're not going to tolerate any bullshit of that sort. I am really tired. I really am. I mean, you guys really need to be up to speed, especially those who are not up to speed. Of course, not talking about community members here that are totally aware of what my standpoint was and all that beautiful stuff. Now, I totally admit that my assessment for the 5400, of course, was broken with this insane rally. My students here can vouch and explain that there was great rationale to it. There wasn't just, I'm not guessing. As you can imagine, there's, of course, deep technical analysis. Some of you can go and watch the older videos and understand why that prediction was in place, the 5400. Even that was originally excessive simply because, well, Fed. It all comes down to the Fed, basically. But now that I finished my very prolonged, annoying rant, I'm getting mad at things. Sorry for that, boys and girls. I'm also sorry I was MIA yesterday with Palantir's earnings, but as I said, I had a bit of a dental issue and I was just so unable to show up. I mean, I really wanted to. I really, really wanted. I was kind of, planning to do something, but I just couldn't. I was absolutely decommissioned. That's why first thing in the morning today, I made sure to keep you guys up to speed, to make a post, whether it's on Discord for the community, whether it's on YouTube, basically keep you guys up to speed to what my thoughts are. And bottom line is really nothing really changed because we understand the market will come to a corrective slowdown as we're slowly moving towards the earnings season in more and more and more. Although Palantir definitely outperformed, and I definitely cannot say. Some of you will say that it didn't boost the market at all. I would argue that it actually did. It's just that the market was meant to go so low so quickly today that you guys don't realize how much more of a boost that, and well, other factors, of course, played a role into the market. We had an overall pretty green day. If you can see Amazon here, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Meta, Netflix, Walmart, Costco, Tesla, Eli Lilly, you just name it. Pretty much ExxonMobil, all over the place, all sectors. We're seeing a bunch of green. There is some red, of course. We're having here on the commercial services now, they're not having a great day. Utilities are not having a great day. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, we're having a very positive day. You can see here. So I argue that a lot of these factors definitely played a role into today's price action. especially on the indices. And so the bigger problem with Palantir is the very same problem we had originally. And I will remind you again that I was one of the most bullish people. You can ask Tom before. I mean, even now, I argue that a lot of people don't understand in depth what the company does. And I do find this price currently to be completely insane. I mean, 100 is just bonkers. Even 80 is excessive and is far too high overpriced, I would argue. And not from that standpoint of PE or the balance sheet, cash, earnings, none of these things. Really, just from a technical standpoint of how the price action should behave under these very conditions. Okay, just from that very simple standpoint. We understand why this is happening, of course, with the abnormality of the market. Palantir is definitely being, I would argue, squeezed. Some of you will understand what I mean here in that sense, that the institutions are basically boiling the crab here. They can see that most of the retails have been very well trained recently to basically buy the dip continuously blindly without thinking twice, thinking, they figured out the market, right? And so they can see that they can squeeze more money out of you. And yes, they need more to squeeze more out of you simply because they effed up real bad during the previous deeper correction in the market, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. I'm just not gonna say the word because it's a thing on YouTube. They don't like it, and I definitely don't feel like getting punished until my channel is finally growing amazingly. Which, by the way, again, I'm an amazing, huge shout out to all the new members. Whether you are here to watch and participate or you're just gonna watch later, I totally understand. To each their own schedule. But just a huge thank you, and I hope to see you all on the daily hangouts we have on the Discord. And come in, feel free to ask questions, participate, don't be shy. That's the whole idea there, that you guys can join in and talk to me every single day. We hang out right here in the open forum. I now opened up a new channel for the people who are into options. I myself don't do options. We definitely have Elrond, one of my moderators and admins, if you will, Mama, and some of the rest of the gang, definitely Polina here, Platinum. Some of the basic I see they just launched, and the members here are already going bananas over this channel. I'm not a big options guy. I mean, I do kinda sadly inevitably understand, although it's not my niche, and I have a dislike to it, if you will, in simple terms. It's just for my own reasons, and I think I'm allowed to be so. But again, you do you, and I've given you the sort of the channel where you can hang out and talk about these things. Of course, respect the rules of the Discord, of the various channels. I'll definitely listen into what the admins tell you. They definitely want what's best for the community. Hey, Stonks, what's up, brother? Good evening, you beautiful alien. Now, yeah, join us on the community via patreon.com /investory. The link is in the description below, and you'll be able to participate in all these and many more activities. I welcome Polina to be the new admin in the community, and she actually has some amazing ideas for everyone, academy members and everyone alike. Yeah, and so join us, and you'll get to enjoy all these crazy things that I just don't want to disclose, and I'm thinking I'm preventing myself from saying something that is kind of still in the works. But yeah, cool things are coming. Of course, you can then join and pretty much talk to me on a daily basis about the market, about what we spoke about in the lives, the videos, more in-depth analysis, individual assets, indices, pretty much anything and everything other than crypto. No hate. Join and I'll explain. Join the Discord and I'll be glad to explain why. Tom Nash, brother from another mother, thank you for joining. I appreciate you always when you do join in. I actually just mentioned you earlier. Only bad stuff, don't worry. No, just good stuff, actually. I never say bad stuff. Pick up the phone, you mother lover. I'm in the middle of the live, brother. I mean, the second I finish, I swear I'm going to give you a call back. I swear. Swear. But at least now you're going to hang out here. Maybe. Tom, does it work like with Graham back in the day that if I say Tom Nash 3 times, my channel blows up to like 1 million views? Tom Nash. 1 million views? No? I was hoping. I was hoping. Thank you for showing up, though, brother. I appreciate that you do show up. And actually, you're at the right time because we were actually covering Palantir and sort of the abnormality and which I guess again you know the narrative and it is completely insane. And you and I spoke. I definitely told you that we're far more likely to break from this point, even if we're gonna have a good earnings report. We definitely, I know, agreed that it's far more likely. I know you're more than excited to have the price drop. Absolutely. But yeah, it is what it is right now, and it's definitely outperformed what it did. It definitely even jumped out of the channel and so insane. I'd love 50. Yeah, we spoke about this, guys. This is not a joke. You can see, Tom listens to what I say and he's aware and he understands that again, even I can make these very sort of mistakes, if you will, or the market conditions can vary. But he himself is super excited. Like, you guys don't know. I mean, I guess not as much as you realize that he would be actually excited for a low price because Tom does what he says. He's simply gonna buy, right? He doesn't care, doesn't have the time or the effort to do the things we do. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing them, to each their own, but Tom has the very simple, relaxing approach to the stock market, to managing a portfolio. Just buy, 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 and a good stock like Palantir, and inevitably, in the right, selling at the right time, you will make your money. It's just sell button is broken. Oh my god. Oh my God, that's such a blessed always to have you. So yeah, I mean, the grand scheme of things, nothing really changed, and we do see how we're coming to an end when it comes to even objectively, if we're even just looking at Palantir individually, and momentum will spill over very, very soon. Or if we're looking on the indices level, we're having that flattening of the curve, as we said, and basically moving into the swedge, which is very indicative of a slowdown and definitely a looming very deeper correction that we can see right here showing up. There are other tools, by the way, you can ask the students that I teach for a little bit more advanced tools that really, well, more a little bit depends on the context, that allow you to see these things and understand why and how the cycles work and how long they are and why some of us are liquidating some, why some of us shouldn't. It depends again on your sentiment. It depends on your portfolio management skills, on your technical analysis, charting abilities. But as Tom and I keep on repeating and saying, guys, remember, those of you who don't realize, these skills are necessary for both traders and investors alike. There is no difference. It's the same thing as saying, I drive once a year, so I don't need a driver's license. That doesn't make any sense. In fact, because you drive once a year, you probably should be retested every now and again. So everyone needs to know these skills. In essence, Tom doesn't need to, and he doesn't feel like dealing with this bullshit because he has me. In essence, that's the bottom line. Plus, it doesn't really match his strategy, so it doesn't give a flying fuck, to be honest, right? But if you're not Tom, which most of you are not, we have different strategies and different approaches. But remember, there are these two different approaches. They do not contradict each other. You just need to remember who you are and stay in your lane when you're doing one thing or another. That's on that. Tesla didn't change much. The only reason we basically had that abnormal price action, I mean, the only thing that is interesting, I guess, with Tesla is that we still have that gap above us. That I do think, and I probably would argue that the forecast would be that we'll end up closing this gap sooner than later. We definitely ended up testing the golden pocket, or at least the ceiling of it. Internally, we didn't really test it all that enough, I would argue, but I definitely can forecast how continuing on this channel we can actually make it back to 400 and change, because the market needs to close this, pardon me, I'm sorry, to close this gap. It just simply is necessary still, and I would argue that's probably going to happen that within a very short time frame. It's not going to take all too long, so I'm sorry, but Nvidia is not Tesla is not going to take too long for us today. It's kind of simple, but the same way when the market goes and shits break house, we are gonna, Tesla will break with it. It's inevitable. The only question is, will Elon be able to create favorable conditions, and so Tesla will have more of a parachute situation and drop slower rather than just drop like a rock. That's kind of the only thing we have about Tesla. Let's see, I didn't miss anything, and I would like to buy again. My DMB is around $10. Stonky, stonky, stonky. I'm gonna yell at you later. No, I'm just kidding. I love you too much. What's the sell button, Christoph? Amazing community, amazing people, and amazing Tom. Thank you guys for showing so much love. I appreciate it. But before we do drop off, and I do think I'm gonna drop off because I am kind of getting tired. I'm sorry for being short today. But next level there did ask for a ticker, and I will check it out. I see using channels and gaps and stochastic RSI. What are your thoughts on using fib retracements? I am using fib retracements. You are seeing this 100%. 4,808.93 is a fib retracement level. 7660, 30, 39, 22, 0.51. That's how I come up with these very, very precise numbers that are fib retracement levels, in essence, if you understand how the cycles work correctly and you understand how to measure them correctly. Of course, in fact, you can ask my students, Fibonacci retracement is an essential part of building and formulating where the market is going to go to and from, to keep it simple and short. So Faded didn't see it. Sorry. No. Damian, awesome question. Don't say sorry for that. That's a marvelous question. That's a good question. Please, I mean, again, if I can give you an in-depth question answer to your questions as quick as I can without going too far and for too long, absolutely I will. Although I do say the devil is in the details, come to Discord. You see, exactly, Bad Wars Gang, the new admin moderator, of course, absolutely, and a student of mine. Haven't yet graduated, but kind of really going in deep on things, really understands how things work, and I'm tremendously intrigued, and is a huge help. All my admins are huge help. All of you, from Mama to Christoph to now Bad Wars, all of you are magical stonks. Also, brother from another mother. Tom again is pretty much the force of inception that brought my channel to even in existence. I'm tremendously grateful and continuously helping me to grow the channel and do things in a far more correct way and all that. So yeah, thank you to all of you from the core of my soul, dear people. That is truly legitimate, serious stuff. Discord different name, AK username profile. Okay, Damien. Yeah. Oh, damn it! I should have known. I know. I can see that. Oh, damn it! I should have known. That makes sense. But yeah, Damien, you need to show up then more. I know when you show up more. Ask questions, participate. Feel free. Don't remember. For you, it's basically your clubhouse. You're just as much of a participant there as anyone else. Feel free to come in, ask questions. That's what it's for, right? So we can debate your questions more in depth, and so you'll actually have more, not half-ass answers, if you will. And yeah, that's that. Yeah, so before we run and close off today's session, I did promise to check out no need to thank me. Thank you for being a member, and thank you for participating and being an awesome participant and member of things. Are you kidding me? Take advantage of the full extent of what I want you guys to have. Please, use it. It's there. Okay, yeah. Before we sign off, SPOT. What is SPOT? And we're gonna take a quick glance. You know what? Before we do, Kratos, what are you doing to me? What is this, Kratos? It's expensive. You see, guys, when we say sideways, people often get caught up by, oh, look, it's up today based on the movement yesterday. But then if you zoom out and you objectively realize you've been stuck within the same range with slight deviations up and down on both ends, you've pretty much been sideways, right? Know how to identify these things. It's very important. Listen to Stonky here. Join the Patreon. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Those who are not Patreons, here you go. Use the code TN30. That is Tom Nash's personal code for his members that we are doing a promotion right now. Looks like this. It will give you 30% discount if you sign up only for the annual membership. It only works for the annual membership, just to be clear. TN30, one word, gives you 30% discount on an annual membership for the first year. Okay, so every month you're going to end up basically paying less, if you will. That's kind of the breakdown how it works. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Join us. Use the promo code. The link is in the chat right now. Kratos, and we were doing the SPOT. SPOT, right? I think I got it right. Next level. Next level, where are you? I got it right, I think. Mircha. I see you're having a gang there. Oh, okay. I see a couple there, and QBTS and Johnny was SPOT. Okay, Johnny, let's check out your SPOT already because I'm already there, and then we're gonna do next levels QBTS. Okay, okay. Let me just mark it so I'm not gonna lose it. Okay, so as you can imagine, this is already not looking too healthy. I mean, if it would have been above the 50, I would have been maybe told you that you have potential to actually move a little bit higher, but this is pretty bonkers. Why are you so high? What happened? What happened to you? I mean, the signs are very indicative, and in fact, I mean, you don't have to be a genius. When you see such a rally, it will have a correction. It will most likely, most probably will have a correction. I would argue that your structure here will look structure of support and resistances will look more like this, and so you're definitely gonna retest these two major ones. So the 276, it looks like 265.90 at this. I mean, being on the monthly and seeing this, which is not that surprising, it's pretty much identical to the S&P. You're pretty much doing S&P here, right? And so I am most definitely can tell you 276.40, 265, but you're probably going to go lower as well. And I think the overall outcome that you'll have here in the long run, you'll end up coming out and realizing over the long run is you're going to have some form of head and shoulders here. It's not going to necessarily match this low. It doesn't have to, which I don't think that will be the case. If anything, even if it's going to plow through most of these, even in the worst case scenario, the market breaking like super low, you should probably be more attentive to that 144.37, given it's kind of where the ranges start expanding, if you will, and really that's just kind of far more likely that even if you're going to slip to death, that's going to be the lowest. Although I would argue that your first major support will be around this golden pocket, and when this kind of matches here with this very same sentiment. So 320, 265. It might be narrow at times, might be wide at times, then narrow again, wide again. 1-2 spikes, you're good. You have here a head and shoulders, or the market is basically flipping us off. You decide one or the other, head and shoulders, flip off, one or the other. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. Whether, that's what it looks like, Johnny. It looks like the market is flipping us off. It's a little flip off, right? Inside of a big flip off. It's like the market is giving us the bird. It's like, go, thingy yourself. That's pretty much. Guys, remember the like button before you leave. Thanks. Absolutely, Stonks. Thank you so much for reminding me. I stopped doing that. Thank you, boys and girls. Christoph, Stonks, Mama, Bedwars, you're all amazing. Thank you for all the help, and the rest of you guys, again, you're all amazing. But really, guys, the admins and the moderators, thank you for reminding me all that stuff I am forgetting, and yet, truly, it's free. Why not? I mean, what the hell? In fact, you know what? If you feel like you disliked it, dislike it. Okay? It's gonna be better than doing nothing. If you do nothing, it's worse, basically. So, many thanks for attending today, guys, and all the best to Greg. Take care. Stonks, you're a magic, brother, brother alien. Thank you, really, truly, thank you. Again, they're not very also good on larger time frame. Johnny, even if you see, the thing is, I know, and I'll have to tell you that even if this looks so narrow and it's just getting there, we already know when the monthly will start printing the negativity. Whether we feel it on the quarterly or not yet, it's happening. You know what I mean? And then eventually it will print, right, slipping over. But as you can understand, it's going to take some time, especially given this quarterly, and we have some time to go. Like 2 months, pretty much, pretty much. What else? So we've done that, and then now let's go. Where was it? It was QBTS. QBTS. Oh, what is this? Why is it so new? I'm just kidding, of course. I'm just kidding. I think we actually spoke about it, and it appears to be so far I kind of got it right. Just kind of pointing towards the X, right? I have a tendency to do that. We all know to put kind of the where the market is going, or maybe highlight something. And so even if we had doubt with that, I definitely pointed this thing, right? As we can see here. So it appears to be that even though not exactly in the path I've expected, but generally speaking, we are where I thought we will end up, which in essence testing the median and then continuing slowly to the top, maybe even retesting that 681. Because I mean, there is some bullish momentum in the system, obviously, right? I mean, it might be that daily thing, it might be the leftovers of that monthly that is still in overbought territory. So let's not forget it is overbought after all. So kind of sideways ish, and we have that weird wedge potentially also maybe playing a role. So not gonna be surprised. But on the grand scheme of things, you are going down. You going down with the rest of them. I'm sorry to say, and it appears to be that I probably have already marked it, or well, I'm just a moron. Yeah, I think we're talking here about 250, 350, $3, like kind of that range when things will get really messy. But then we'll see. First of all, let's see you make it to 530 again. You know what I mean, and then break back down into the levels in between, including you still have 550, $5, 450, $4, 350, 342. Basically, you have like a whole array of things here. But it does appear that the market is slowly starting to pull you downwards. It is not super rapid, but that's the direction. Generally, the shtick. Okay, I think we're gonna sum it up for today, boys and girls. I am getting tired and my lip hurts. I'm not gonna lie. All that dentistry work really effed up my lip. What you think about quantum stock? Will they stay with us? Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if they will break with the rest of the market, they will definitely, I think, from things how they look right now, they will be parachuting down. They will not be dropping as rapidly unless something changes, pardon me, until then. But I definitely do expect them to more so parachute downwards rather than just drop like a rock. Again, things may change, right? It depends on the nature of the thing that bringing the market down. Maybe some crazy hack or a disruption in the AI price development prices or actual abilities. And I mean, you saw what that deep stink did to the market within a day and a half. So, which we don't even know how further disruptions will look like. Somebody smart said, "Oh, look, they put their thing, open source and all that. Like they put their best AI open source. It's like, how do you know it's their best AI? In fact, maybe because they put it open source, maybe it's like they already know that's this thing is already old and is not efficient. They're like, yeah, sure, we already have better stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's that. KTOS looks interesting. It does, especially within the sphere of what they do. I'm actually very much interested in their microwave tech. Future weapons, right? Hypersonic missiles and all that crazy stuff that right now is very much a part of the new defense budget for most countries, and they definitely play a significant role. And whether we're gonna have turbulence or not, remember these technologies are often developed and to me, it looks like a stable company to have, especially in the turbulent times that are ahead. It's a good place to potentially park some of your money, at least just some of it, right? I mean, in my opinion, at least if things will pan out as expected, giving me the range of 30 and lower, I'm probably going to be buying in slowly, but all my community members know once I do buy in on anything, I report to the community. I let them know on the Discord and all that beautiful stuff. And with that in mind, boys and girls, that was a great call. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. In fact, I'm surprised how well I was able to pull through. considering the very long and tedious day that I had today. And my like I mainly really it's not the day, more so it's about the mouth pain or my face feels like it was hit by a bus, if you know what I mean. It is better. It is getting better. Not gonna lie. Thank you for all the people who sent me love and support yesterday when I was basically decommissioned. I was decommissioned. I swear. I was. Yeah. But thank you again to all the new members. Thank you for all the people who participate, and thank you to all the people who press the like, dislike, doesn't matter. I will see you on the next one, and hopefully on the Discord. Any day now, right? So you can ask me interesting questions. We can debate these things in depth. All of you have a wonderful night. See you all on the Discord. Bye bye.